Cooking with Gratitude show, and I am grateful for you, the Tam Fam, and in honor of Thanksgiving tomorrow. I know everyone in the Tam Fam has something to be grateful for this year. I feel so blessed to share today with all of you. I'm also grateful for something else in life. Dessert. Yeah, I said it. My next guest is going to show us how to make a delicious one. Are you ready for the Biscoff apple cheesecake bars? I know, it sounds so good. I need to say it again. Biscoff apple cheesecake bars. And Chef Danielle Sepsy knows a little something about baking as the reigning scone queen of New York. Her company, The Hungry Gnome, sells baked goods to 150 plus stores in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. And now she is competing in the new HBO Max show, The Big Brunch, as one of 10 chefs vying for a $300,000 prize. Take a look.
Hi. The carb queen is here, don't worry.
Fill us in.
Right. For me as a New Yorker and a Long Island girl, a quintessential brunch and really anytime meal is a bacon, egg, and cheese. So I wanted to put my own spin on it. So I have my famous everything bagel buttermilk biscuits. I have some kind of souffle style baked eggs and rosemary candied bacon.
I'm gonna take this off because this is a beast here.
Oh, please, Tam Fam, give it up for Chef Danielle Sepsy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm going to tell you now, I love you for many reasons, but when we started this show, I said I wanted it to feel like brunch.
Yes.
2 mimosas in when the people you don't like are gone. And
right.
You really are getting into brunch.
I love that energy.
It's
I love
my
that energy.
favorite, and you've brought something that is a grand finale.
Yes, that
for
is for
this
sure.
show today.
Absolutely.
The inspiration behind it is?
So I grew up in a big Italian family where everything revolved around food, of course. Yeah. And my grandmother, Rosemary, who has since passed from Alzheimer's, she was the baker. And she taught me how to bake from the time I was very young. Yep, there she is. And she was an incredible apple pie baker. Wow. But, you know, when it comes to Thanksgiving cooking, it's hard to manage your time, right? And figure out how can you make this ahead and make, you know, have one oven, how am I gonna make all of this at one time?
And still be present with my family.
Exactly.
That's tough. Let's jump on in this one.
Here we go. So first it starts with a crust, but not any old crust. This isn't graham cracker, this is Biscoff. Okay. So maybe you're familiar with those cookies that you get on an airplane, right? So that's cinnamon, buttery flavor. So it's just Biscoff crumbs, some dark brown sugar, and some butter. And everything's better with butter, right? And we mix it together. And then we just press it into an 8-by-8-inch pan.
Okay.
But first we gotta line it with parchment. So this is gonna be for an easy release. You can see it's hanging over the edge about an inch. We pull, it comes right out. We can cut it later on.
Okay.
So first we're just gonna mix in a bowl, and we did this earlier, just for time's sake, but we mix together the Biscoff crumbs, the dark brown sugar, the butter. We press it in the pan.
Press it in and we bake it for how long?
For about 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
And this is just to ensure we don't get a soggy bottom.
Got it. We don't want that.
We don't want soggy bottoms.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
So we pre-baked it a little bit, and now for the filling. So this is a cheesecake sort of filling with a cookie butter spread. So Biscoff spread. Also, you might know it as a speculoos spread. A lot of cultures call it. Yeah, so you can use either one.
Okay.
And if you don't have that, you could totally use peanut butter and kind of change the flavor profile a little bit too.
Okay. So we
have some cookie butter. But first I've got 12 ounces of softened room temperature cream cheese.
Okay, room temperature.
And I've got about 75 grams of sugar. I'm a baker. I'm all about precision.
You're not going to lose me with sugar, okay? You're not going to lose me. It's Thanksgiving. Come on.
Exactly. And I say live a little.
Live a little. Okay, so.
So we're going to go on low speed, and we're going to incorporate the granulated sugar first. Why we're doing that is because we want some of those harsh granules to kind of dissolve within that cream cheese first. And then we're going to add our vanilla. And here's a little chef's tip here. When you add your flavoring to the fat, it actually becomes a little more pronounced.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You always want to add, if it's butter and sugar or cream cheese and sugar in this case, add the vanilla then.
Okay, add vanilla then.
So blend that together.
Okay.
Blend, blend, blend. You just want it smooth and creamy.
Okay, smooth.
A little bit lighter.
I'm so afraid right now. I had the nerve not to wear an apron. All right, then we have our egg.
doesn't mean we can't look
Okay,
fabulous in the kitchen, right? We don't hide the outfits. This is the holidays.
All right, egg.
So I've got 1 large egg and 1 large egg yolk.
Okay.
So why I add that extra egg yolk is just for added richness.
Okay.
And, you know, because the white of an egg may make it too kind of gelatinous-y in texture.
Oh.
So we want just the added richness, and also it binds it. So when it bakes, it becomes more set, and you don't have a soupy, you know, bar that you can't cut.
I love you explaining all of this because they often say people can cook, but not everyone can bake because baking is a science.
Yes, this
and
is
everything
true.
that you've described down to why we would add an additional egg yolk, but not the entire egg, is such valuable information, especially someone like me, as I'm still on my cooking journey. I love that. So you've mixed this in.
Yes, and now it's time for that Biscoff spread. So
Biscoff
quarter
spread.
cup of Biscoff spread, and that has all those warm spices like cinnamon in there.
Okay. So we
Really kind of buttery,
And you said again,
nutty
if you
flavor.
can't find the Biscoff spread, you can get
use
yourself
that
some
speculoos spread, as I was saying,
or peanut butter.
change it up a little and do more of a peanut butter apple bar. Totally fine too.
Okay.
So now let's blend this just until it's smooth and everything is a one kind of cohesive mixture.
All right. So I've got this going here. And we're just really, you don't want to over mix it, right? You just want it so it's cohesive.
So for something like this, it's hard to over mix it.
Oh, wow, that's good to know.
Because there's no gluten in this.
Oh.
If this was, let's say, a dough that, like, for example, I'll give you a little secret when you're making biscuits. The more you mix the dough, the glutens further develop and it becomes tougher.
All right, so now we
Here we
spread
go.
this into our Biscoff.
So we're going to spread that right into our pan, but we're not done. We still have 2 more layers. It seems like a lot, but
So
it
I put
really
the
is so
entire
easy.
thing in, okay.
Entire thing in.
This
And it's okay if the crust is still a little warm. You don't want it scorching hot, so let the crust
to
cool a little bit.
down. Okay. All
But
right, so we
definitely
spread this in.
can be a little warm.
All right.
And then we're going to make our little apple topping.
All right, and what's in our apple topping?
Our apple topping is my favorite type of apple, which my husband, who's from Pennsylvania, introduced to me when we first started dating, and I can never go back to another apple. Honey crisp apples.
The
They're
best,
the
okay.
perfect blend of sweet, tart, and crisp.
Love Honey Crisp. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
It's the best. And I
Okay.
think it's good for eating and for baking because for something like this, I want the apples to soften, but not so much that they're mush.
They're mushy, yeah.
So it's got a little texture still. So they're
got
nice
it.
and diced, a small dice.
Okay.
We're gonna add a tablespoon of white granulated sugar for
Okay.
extra sweetness and a little warmth with just about a quarter teaspoon or so of cinnamon.
Cinnamon, okay, we'll mix that in.
And if you want, you can add some ginger
This is
here.
so yummy already. I can already tell this is a winner.
Thank
That's why
you.
you're a superstar. I haven't even tasted a bite and I know it's yummy.
Thank
All
you
right, so we
so much.
spread this over our,
Yeah, once that's mixed, just
Oh, wow.
evenly.
and this will
Sprinkle
hold
it.
up through. Okay, we're gonna go to the break. We'll be right back with the finished product. Chef Danielle in the house. We're talking family traditions and gratitude after the break.
Tell the camera, what are you making?
What are you making?
What are you making?
I'm making bread.
Bread, homemade bread, a snow day tradition, right?
Oh, we're back with Chef Danielle Sepsy. That was her adorable nephew, Malay, she is passing down the recipes that she learned from her grandmother that we just talked about.
Yes.
That's what you're grateful for.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I just love to teach people how to cook, especially my niece and nephew who have really taken a liking to it.
I love that.
And so I hope that one day they carry on the tradition.
They will. If nothing else, they'll carry on eating it because it's delicious.
Absolutely.
All right, you're going to finish this beautiful recipe up for us. What do we top
So we're making a streusel topping now,
Okay.
which is really simple. We have some whole rolled oats, some all-purpose flour, some dark brown sugar. We're just going to blend that together.
Okay.
And
And we
usually I
put-
like to use my hands a little here.
Okay, I do too. So before we went to break, we had our crust, we put our cream, and then we topped it with our apples. You said one of the
Absolutely.
tips in the break, you told me we don't have to layer the apples so high. It can be just one
Yeah,
layer.
just one single layer.
One
and
single
they
layer.
vary so much in sizes, the Honey Crisp.
Okay.
So I'd say 1.5 this size.
Okay,
Maybe
great.
that's medium, we
All
can
right.
say.
So we don't need to.
And
do
it
we
doesn't
mix
have to be
this?
exact. It's
Okay.
just a matter of getting a nice layer.
Okay, I mix this with my fingers.
Yep, I like to break it up just because there's dark brown sugar,
Melted
it clumps
butter.
together. And then again, melted butter, my best friend.
Yes, our best
We're just
friend.
gonna toss that in there. And then I like to use a fork because we don't want to create a paste here. We want to create crumbs.
A crumble.
So now crumble just evenly on the top.
I've been sharing the different songs I think about when I cook. And so when you say crumble, I think, I'll crumble for you.
Yeah.
Culture
Reminds
Club.
me of the movie.
Okay, I know. It's a curse I have in the kitchen. I think of songs whenever I think of products or anything in the kitchen. Okay, So this is done.
This is done. Now we pop it in a 350-degree oven. If you have a convection oven, I would lower it to 325.
Okay, that's a good tip.
Yeah.
And then we have the finished crumble.
We
You ready
do.
for it?
Takes about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Take it out.
Bring it out.
Now here's when that parchment paper
Okay.
comes in handy. We're going to just lift.
Oh, wow! Love this. I just love you. Congratulations on everything. Has it
Thank
been a
you.
surreal experience? I mean, you've rocketed
It really has. It really
into
has.
stardom.
You know, being on the Big Brunch with such incredible contestants from all over the country with all different types of cuisine that they make and amazing things that they're doing in their communities.
Yeah.
It impacted me so much and inspired me to just keep going and do more with my community. And
So this is a cookie butter spread. Oh,
drizzle.
come on.
I mean,
Danielle, why are you doing us like this today? And I'm gonna try this.
and you can cut it in little small pieces too, which is nice because you have a lot of desserts on the table at Thanksgiving. You can have just a little bit at a time.
I bow.
Thank you.
This is the baking queen right here. Amazing.
Thank you.
Danielle, thank you so much. Congratulations on everything. You've earned it all,
My
and this
pleasure.
is amazing. I'm grateful for you.
I'm very grateful to be
You
here.
can check out Danielle's recipe on our website, TamronHallShow.com. Season 1 of The Big Brunch is now streaming on HBO Max with the final 2 episodes of the season dropping tomorrow, Thanksgiving Day.